The president also saying that U.S. oil companies will go into Venezuela and rebuild that oil industry. That oil industry has had several setbacks going back to the Chavez administration, where they went from producing 3.5 million barrels of oil a day to 1 million barrels of oil a day. The infrastructure is old. The staffing is not as expert, if you will, as the companies in the United States and other parts of the world. And the president saying Venezuela is going to work with the U.S. to do that, to get that infrastructure up and running. But again, the headline here, the U.S. seems to be in charge of Venezuela, at least according to President Trump. I want to bring in Peter Alexander, who is monitoring that news conference and, of course, was covering all the breaking news as it was happening overnight. Peter, a lot of headlines, a lot of stunning sort of things coming out from President Trump's mouth, which is something that we should be used to by now. But this idea that he's going to use members of the Maduro administration to still run Venezuela, and then also saying at this news conference that the opposition leader, who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, should not be the leader because she is not respected and she wouldn't have the support there. Quite remarkable.
Tom, I think as dramatic as the overnight developments were, the strikes in Venezuela and the capture of Nicolás Maduro and his wife, at least as dramatic and stunning the president's own comments in this news conference that just wrapped up at Mar-a-Lago moments ago. I'll circle three key headlines that strike me. You touched on some of them right now. The U.S. is, in effect, in the president's words, going to run that country indefinitely. There is no clear timetable for when that ends. In the president's own words during those remarks, it's all being done right now as he tries to detail exactly what that is going to look like, briefly turning around to members of his own cabinet, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, among others, saying these guys the country. Number two, the president did not rule out the possibility of boots on the ground in Venezuela. For a president who came to power saying that he had no interest in starting wars, wanted to end wars, the idea of American troops being on the ground in another foreign country, as critical he has been in the past of the situation that took place with boots on the ground in Iraq and elsewhere, I think that is a particularly dramatic statement. We are already hearing from some of the president's allies and others detailing that the president needs to do a better job describing what that transition process in particular will look like. And finally, the U.S. is, in effect, in the oil business. The president saying that American oil companies will now go in, as he describes it. It's, the conversation inside the boardrooms of the Shells and Exxons right now is probably a pretty interesting one, spending billions of dollars of their own money, saying, in effect, that they are pumping money out of the ground that country is right now. Is the U.S. the beneficiary of that money? Under what authorities is the U.S. doing any of this, taking over that country and effectively seizing its oil? I think those are a lot of the questions we're going to be focused on over the course of the day. There are other topics, I think, that relate to the dramatic nature of what happened earlier today. We heard from the Joint Chiefs Chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, his nickname Raisin, as the president likes to refer to him, detailing that there were aircraft taking off from 20 separate bases. I think he said it was 150 separate aircraft that were involved in this operation. One of them was struck during the back and forth that took place here, but that was able to continue to fly. He detailed the extraordinary efforts by American service members from age 20 to age 49, the breadth of the range of those who are participating here. So while the good news is that all American service members and forces involved appear to be okay, there are enormous questions to be raised about what the days, weeks, months, and frankly years will look like in Venezuela. He put no limits on the operations to take place there going forward. He has not ruled out boots on the ground. He did not set any end date here as well, Tom. You just have to pull back the curtain and remember, for an American first policy, that's how the president first came to power, the first go around, returned to office. Again, this go around, this is a